We learn a great deal about work from the Bible. We learn, for example, that work is a good part of God's creation, to which all Christians should be committed. We learn that work is right and necessary. More than that, we learn that work is an act of love. Rather than selfishly sponging off others, we should work in order to provide for ourselves and our families, so as not to be a burden to others, and so that we can have something to share with others. Work is also a loving way we can contribute to our communities by building bridges or teaching children or collecting garbage. At the same time, work is hard and frustrating this side of the fall. And lest we overvalue our work or invest it with too much significance, the preacher of Ecclesiastes reminds us that death makes a mockery of our achievements, and that human toil is always mixed with a generous portion of futility. He also tells us that work can be a great source of satisfaction and joy if you're one of those rare and blessed people who really enjoy their jobs. The Bible also tells us a great deal about how we are to work. Honestly, justly, diligently, cheerfully, not too much, in other words, taking time off, seeking to serve others and do good to them out of love, and so on. The one thing we don't learn a lot about is which job we should do, except that we learn not to accept any job that requires us to cheat or steal or be ungodly, such as being a thief. It's one of those occasions where God tells us what matters matter. We think that which particular job we take is terribly important and we agonize over it. God's guidance of us, however, is that which job is not nearly so important as that we work, and that we are godly in the way we work. There are many questions we don't have time to deal with here, but one that is worth touching on is the nature of gospel work. While the Bible clearly teaches that all Christians should work, it also says that there is one group who need not work with their hands for their food, the preachers of the Word of God. As they work in proclaiming the gospel and pastoring others, it is quite right and appropriate that Christians support them financially as they labour doing God's work in the world. Now, this is by no means to divide Christians into two classes, those who do real and valuable gospel work and those lesser mortals who are doomed to simply work for a living. Both sorts of work are right and good and godly, and both sorts of work are expressions of love. In love, we do the hard work of earning a living to provide for ourselves and share with others. And in love, we also are concerned for the salvation of others, such that we want to share the gospel with them, whether part-time, around the edges of our daily work, or full-time, having given up normal work to do so. Whether we give up normal work for full-time gospel work, or indeed whether we work part-time in order to have more time for gospel work, these decisions are matters of good judgment, not righteousness. We all have to make these decisions with the wisdom God provides, depending on our suitability for full-time gospel work and depending on our circumstances. We could say a great deal more. Work is one of those topics. But rather than opening up yet more issues, it might be better to pause and discuss the implications of those things we've already raised.